prolonged. He's a healthy baby boy. But might I ask, how did you manage to hide the pregnancy? The doctor peers at me over his glasses and listens to my heart, the cold stethoscope giving me a chill. I thought you said no questions asked? I shoot a look to the woman standing beside me. You don't have to answer. Eleonora drags a chair beside the bed and looks at me seriously. Are you sure you want to go through with this? Can't be undone. Once I open the portal and deliver the child, he will be gone forever. Nervously, I look at the doctor, and I know Eleonora can tell I'm uneasy with him in here. Arya, Dr. Cloud is one of my trusted advisors and sits on our Coven's council. He can be trusted, but if you are more comfortable with him out of the room, so be it. Doctor, may I have a few moments alone with her? She asks, and he politely nods and leaves the room, shutting the door behind him. You have taken a great risk by coming here. What will the Alpha say? She asks while she hands me more Kleenex to dry my tears. The Alpha is dead. His brother is crazed and challenged him for the position. My poor Augusta refused to fight him, and Eric didn't even think twice before he murdered him, and now he is forcing me to marry him. If Eric finds out about our pup, he won't hesitate to kill the child too. He's ruthless. The wedding is in a month. I need my baby far away, where Eric won't find him. Why not go with the boy? You can both go into hiding. She asks sincerely. I can't leave my people. My father and my grandfather were both alpha of this pack, and I have a duty to them. As their Luna, I simply can't run away. Eric is a heartless monster, but perhaps if I marry him and stay, I can make things better for them. It's a noble thing you're doing, but there are no guarantees that your son will live a happy life. I have no control over what happens to him once I transfer him through the portal. I'll ask this last time. Are you sure that you wish for this? It breaks my heart, but I know my answer is and will always be yes. I know that if my baby stays with me, he will be murdered so that no one can take Eric's place. I'm sure, I say, and tears spring anew in my eyes. Do you want to see him? She asks, and I struggle with an answer. I think that maybe it would be easier to let him go if I don't see him, but I have a deep need to look into my baby's eyes just once before I let him go forever. I nod, and Eleonora leaves momentarily and returns with a small bundle in her arms. She hands him over to me, and with one look I am madly in love with my child. He has a thick head of black wavy hair, and his eyes are mesmerizing. He has one fierce blue eye and the other is emerald green. He's a stunning child. He looks like you. I look at my little boy, and I know he is going to have the heart of a lion. He will thrive. I pray he will live a beautiful life. All I can give him if he comes home with me is certain death at the hands of his uncle. May I name him? Yes, I can place a name with him when he is transported. But there are no guarantees that those who find him will keep it. Leo. Leave the note with the name Leo. She nods and points to a bassinet that is sitting in the corner. It's time. Place him in the bassinet, and then I will ensure he is transported to a place far from here. One that is far from this territory, where he won't be found. She waves her hand, and a doorway opens in thin air. Our coven is only doing this for you as repayment of a debt we owed your pack. In the eyes of our council, we are now even. Let your grandfather know that we appreciate the protection he gave us in the Elders' War. I nod and hand the bassinet over to her, tears streaming down my face as I do. She takes him from me and disappears into the portal. She is only gone but a moment before she is back, and then with the wave of a hand, the door disappears and I drop to the ground sobbing at the loss of my little boy. My little Leo. A piece of me is forever gone. I've lost my mate and now my only child. When I return to Eric, there is nothing he can do to me that will be more painful. Chapter 1. Leo, 17 years later. It's lunchtime, the dreaded hour where I'm left in a mostly uncontrolled environment without much supervision. At least when I'm in class the teachers are there, and I'm left alone. But lunchtime, that's open season. I hand my lunch voucher in and get in line, keeping my head down and just holding out the tray at each station. I don't even care what they put on it. I'll eat whatever is there because it's the only meal I'll get each day, so I'm not picky. Grabbing a carton of milk, I lift my head up enough so I can see to navigate to an empty table in the corner of the vast cafeteria, and before I can sit down I see him coming from the corner of my eye. I start to walk faster, but he speeds up and pushes me hard in the back, and I nearly hit the floor. I stumble, somehow holding on to my tray, and just keep moving forward until I'm at the table. I sit down and Donovan and his squad of assholes sit beside me. Can't you take one day off from making my life hell? I ask. I'm so tired of the relentless bullshit from them. Don't you want to be our friends anymore? He picks up the apple that's on my tray and takes a bite. I thought we were besties. Please, Donovan, leave me alone. I just want to. Before I can finish, he stands up and grabs my milk, opening it and pouring it over my head. Takes everything in me to just stay sitting and not pound the kid. But I know better. His father is the chief of police in this shitty town, and until I turn 18, I'm stuck here. I clench my jaw and swallow hard. Listen here, you giant freak. Stay away from my girl, you hear me? He takes a scoop of the mashed potatoes off my plate and slaps his hand on my chest, wiping it down the front of me. He has successfully gotten the attention of other students now too, and I sit like a helpless idiot in the corner of the room. I know you're staring at her behind those sunglasses, having freaky thoughts about her. I don't look up as I respond. I don't give two shits about you or your girl. That's right. You better not. Donovan takes the rest of the tray and tosses it on the floor, and my heart sinks. There goes anything I'll eat today. I don't have money to buy another one. Hell, I didn't have money to buy the one I got that comes from the vouchers I get from the group home. Get the fuck out of here, Dawn. Leave him alone. Angie comes once again to my rescue and pushes a couple of the guys out of their seats and sits down, taking their place. Fuck off or I'll get Mr. Jackson. My daily tormentors get up to leave, but not without parting words. See ya after school, loser, Donovan says with an evil grin on his face. Here, Angie unpacks her lunch and hands me her sandwich, and I'm so humiliated. Leo, you don't have to take that shit from them. Angie is my only friend. We don't hang out or anything outside of school. She doesn't even know where I live, but she's the only one that talks to me like I'm a human and not some kind of freak. She plays on the girls' soccer team, and from what I hear, she's pretty good and hoping for a scholarship. I'm not taking your lunch, Angie. I slide the sandwich back to her and take a napkin and try to wipe the milk out of my hair. Leo, the way they treat you, it's not okay and it's getting worse. Maybe they want to get in as much as they can before we graduate. I pull my ratty sweatshirt off now that it's covered in today's lunch and stuff it into my backpack. I'm glad the t-shirt I'm wearing is basic and clean. You're a big guy, bigger than Donovan, I don't get it. You could just beat the shit out of them. And then what? Have his dad get me kicked out of school? Or try and send me back to juvie? I have 3 more months until graduation. I turn 18 and then I can leave legally and get as far away from here as possible. The bell interrupts us, and I can't say I'm upset about it. Angie grabs her things and stands, gives me a quick pat on the back and heads off to class. I'll see you tomorrow. Wait for me by the gym at lunch. I have something for you. She gives me a quick grin and takes off, and I know she left the sandwich and her banana behind on purpose, and deep down I'm thankful for it. I grab it and put it in my bag and head to class. 1 more period left and we have a substitute, thank God. The older man admits that he was called at the last minute and has no intention of teaching us calculus, so he just puts a movie on. The lights go off and I slouch into my desk, thankful for the dark. I take my sunglasses off and rub my eyes. She's right. You could easily have kicked their asses. You need to stand up for yourself. I nearly jump out of my seat as the voice comes back. Over the last 6 months, I have been hearing a voice in my head, talking to me, and I know that can't be good. I haven't told anyone about it, but I'm pretty sure I'm losing my mind. Maybe all the shit that has happened to me in the past has finally just made me snap. You're not losing your mind, you idiot. You need to start listening to me. You can't ignore me forever. I'm trying to help you. I start to feel panicked and I look at the clock. 15 more minutes before class is let out, and I remember Donovan's threat. I know he is going to be waiting for me after school, so I put my glasses back on and I slide out of my seat and quietly leave the room before the lights go back on. As quickly as I can, I make my way to the exit, and when I hit the steps in the front of school, I take off and run as fast as I can. I can't handle another encounter today. It's an hour's walk to the group home I'm assigned to in the city. It's a shithole, a place where kids are sent because no one else wants them. Basically, if you live here, you are 1 step from being homeless. And when I turn 18, I can finally leave and become my own guardian instead of being a ward of the state, and I can start new. I could have gone to a school closer, but my caseworker placed me in a private school in the suburbs. Apparently, my test scores for academics were far above normal, and he thought it would be a tragedy to waste such talent. But he doesn't know anything about me. Donovan is right. I'm a freak, and now I'm a freak that hears voices in my head. Chapter 2. Queen Luna Aria. Eric, you can't do this. I chase after him as he storms down the hallway. It isn't right. I scream at him, grabbing his arm to drag him back. You have no right to do this. He turns and grabs me by the throat and lifts me up and throws me against the wall. You may be my queen and Luna, but you do not tell me what to do. He screams at me and heads down to the training grounds where the alpha and beta from one of the neighboring packs are being held. They are a peaceful community, Eric. What you are doing is wrong. You're out of control. He ignores me and I stagger back up and chase behind him until we hit the training grounds. What I see breaks my heart. Alpha Jonathan just turned 15. His father died in a terrible car accident a few months ago, and he became the new alpha of the South Hill pack. They are a small pack, but peaceful and very dedicated to one another. One of the oil mines is located on their land, and it is the primary source of their income, and Eric wants it for his own. He wants to control everything and he will kill anyone that is in his way. I'm losing the ability to protect other packs and Eric is getting more and more ruthless. Relinquish your pack to me, Alpha Jonathan. Eric's voice booms as he tries to exert his power over the poor boy, but Eric doesn't realize he is not the true alpha of our pack, nor is he the rightful king. His voice has no power over the young alpha. It only instills fear. I watch as a battered young boy is being coached by his beta, James. Both men have their arms bound behind them with silver rope. They are on their knees and surrounded by Eric's warriors. Beta James was a good friend to my husband, Augusta. Augusta was a fair and kind ruler of the Southern Territories, an alpha and king by birthright, and a noble man. He was my mate, and when Eric decided that he wanted the power instead, he killed his brother in cold blood right in front of me. Now I watch as Beta James tries to be calm and coach the young alpha to maintain his dignity, even though he is terrified. Do it. Turn your pack over to me at once. Eric hits the boy hard, knocking him over, and Beta James jumps up to protect him. Enough, he yells. Alpha Eric, you have no right to force another pack to turn themselves over to you. Augusta would never have allowed this behavior. Beta James looks at me and pleads with me. You must stop him, Arya, he says before Eric erupts in a fit of rage. I am so sick of hearing my brother's name. I am a king and you shall address me as one. He grabs Beta James by the hair and stands him up and holds him above the ground. Arya, something is not right with him. Please, you must try and stop him. Jonathan is just a boy. James pleads with me again before turning to Eric. You will never be my king, he says. And those are the final words needed before Eric loses control and shifts into the blackest of wolves and tears into Beta James' neck, ripping it open and tearing out his spine before tossing his body into the surrounding woods. Alpha Jonathan lets out a tortured howl and I rush to him and hold him tight before he can make another move that will seal his fate. Get away from the boy, Eric's wolf screams. I grab Alpha Jonathan's face in my hands and tears are flooding his eyes. Do it. You must do it or you will be condemned to the same fate as James. I can't. My people. I'd be betraying my people and turning them over to a monster. He swallows hard and turns to speak, but I stop him. Would you rather your people lose you entirely? I'll find a way to make this right, Jonathan. But I need you alive, your pack needs you alive. You need to trust me. Trust your queen. The young boy shakes his head and I turn to find that Eric has shifted back to his human form. Eric, if you spare Alpha Jonathan's life, he will relinquish the pack to you. But you must not kill him. You need his people to do as you ask, and with him dead, they have no reason to do so. His people love him and his family, they are loyal to him. With him dead, you only create more problems. Eric thinks this over as he grabs a pair of pants that someone hands him and puts them on after shifting. He will live the rest of his days out of this territory. He will be forced into the north and he can live as a rouge there. Sentencing him to live as a rogue in the Northern Territory is almost as bad as killing him, but he will at least have a fighting chance versus dying right here on the spot. He agrees to the terms at my request, and before I can say goodbye, the boy is dragged off and out of sight and the rest of our pack stands in shock at the brutality of their alpha. But no one says a word, and they simply disappear. On my way back to my chambers, I overhear Eric and several of his council talking in the library. I know that I should not be listening. If they catch me, the punishment would be brutal, but I can't help myself. I want to expand beyond the Southern Territory, Eric says. I slide into the room behind one of the stacks and shift one of the books over to get a better view of him. He is pointing to a map on the wall. I want to claim this land here as well. It is rich in minerals and will make me a fortune. That's the human territory. King Eric, we can't break the treaty there. Omar, one of his council, responds. He served my father years ago. Why not? That treaty is old news. Think about it, we could rule the human territories with little to no effort. They would be slaves to us and our kind, and their women bring a nice price tag as well. Eric says and laughs. What you will bring on is war. The humans will fight back. They W. Eric cuts his other council member off and slams his hand on the table. The humans will die in droves at our hands, and the ones that are left will bow to us. We can start with that isolated town, test our theory. He points to a small town that is less than an hour from our lands. King Eric, I do not recommend we do this. The human territories have always remained neutral between our kind. The covens, packs, fays, and vampire have a signed treaty on this. To take on your own kind is one thing. To take on the neutral territories of our realm is entirely different. What you ask for are war and destruction. Omar says with some angst in his voice. What I ask for is loyalty and power. I can rule all of the realms and you can join me or be removed. Permanently. I sit as still as possible as his council members nod in agreement and disperse. Eric is going to start a war with not only all of the sects in our realm, but he is going to attack the humans. I can't let him do this. He has already destroyed so much and killed so many, but I can't let it continue. I know what I have to do and it pains me, but it is the only way. I wait until they have all left, including Eric, and I rush out of the room through the back door that leads to a staircase down to the kitchen, and eventually, I get to the tunnels that will take me to the prisons that hold Alpha Jonathan until he is to be transported. Queen Arya, I am surprised to see you here. Warrior Andrew stands quickly at attention. He served my family before Eric took over and has always been loyal to me. Andrew, I need to see Jonathan before they take him to the north. You know I'm not supposed to let anyone near him. If Eric finds out, it would be certain death for me. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. Please. I beg, and Andrew sighs and lets me through. I travel down the long tunnel and find Jonathan at the end of it. He's sitting on the filthy ground and his arms are strung up over his head, chains holding him in place. I can see tear stains down his dirty cheeks and my heart aches for him. I drop beside him and he looks at me defeated. He's just a boy, he was never ready for this kind of treatment. He wasn't ready to lead his people, and now he is forced to leave all those he loves and those who love him just as much. I failed my people. I betrayed my family, he says, and I grab his hand. No, Jonathan, you did what had to be done to stay alive. I need to tell you something and you need to listen very carefully. All of our lives depend on it. He nods and his dark brown eyes stare at me. Jonathan, Eric is not the true heir to the Southern Realm. He is not the Alpha. Have you ever noticed he can't command those around him? It's because he is not the rightful king. Jonathan, I have a son. With those words, his eyes fly wide open and he goes to speak, but I shush him quickly. Let me finish, I don't have much time. I had the baby in secret and went to a coven to have them hide him far away from here. I knew Eric would never allow him to live. Eric plans to take over all of the territories, including the human ones. It is certain death for all involved, so many will fall at his hands. A war will break out between all of the realms. I can't allow that to happen. You must find my son. Get word to the king and queen in the north. Tell them to find the child with 2 different colored eyes. 1 electric green eye and 1 electric blue. I gave him the name of Leo, but he could go by anything now. How are we to find him? Does he even know who he is? Jonathan asks and I shake my head. No, he has no idea who he is. I'm not sure he even knows what he is. But he turns 18 in a few months, and he is the true king of our lands. I pray you are able to get word to the north. Arya, you need to go. They are on their way to get him. Andrew calls down the corridor. I hug Jonathan and squeeze his hand once more. Be brave, son. I will do my best to watch over your people. Stay alive. I turn and run out of the tunnel, praying that he survives long enough to get my message to the north. Chapter 3. Elise. Elise, we aren't supposed to be here. Your mom is gonna kill us if she finds out. My dad will kill us. Your dad will go insane. We will be double killed. I mean, being late for school is one thing, but leaving the territory is an entirely different level of punishment. And without security, I'll be grounded for life. Calm down, Sammy. She isn't going to find out. She's your mom and our Luna. She knows everything. Sammy is flipping out. We're only going to be gone for an hour. They won't even miss us. We will be back before school even starts. Besides, I'm 18 now. I pull the car into the lot and we hop out. It is definitely not in the best neighborhood. That's for sure. You have been 18 for all of 2 days, and that doesn't mean you don't have to follow the rules. Are you sure this is where the shop is? Sammy asks, and I look around doubting myself and the information I was given. But this has to be it. It simply has to be. Come. I think it's this way. I grab Sammy's arm and drag her through an alley. My mother and father have their anniversary party on Saturday. They will be married. And Alpha and Luna of our beloved pack. For 20 years. There are no two people on earth that I cherish more. When they were first married, my father gave my mother a locket with a unique wolf carving on the back. It had been in his family for centuries. Years later, my mother lost it in a fight protecting our pack from rogues, and I have been searching for it ever since. Yesterday, it showed up on a website at a pawn shop in human territory, a place I was told never to go. But I'm determined to get that locket back and present it to my parents for their anniversary. Here, it's down here. A staircase leads down to a door that has a sign on it reading "New to you. 24-hour pawn shop." We open the door, and I am instantly overwhelmed with the smell of cigarettes. The further we make our way into the shop, the stronger the smell gets until we discover the source. A man with slicked-back blonde hair and an unruly mustache leans over the counter and just stares at us with a cigar hanging from his mouth. "Can I help you little pretties with something?" he asks, and Sammy grabs my hand and squeezes it hard. I muster up some courage and walk up to the counter. "Yes, we saw a locket on your website yesterday. One with a wolf on it. Do you still have it?" The man doesn't say anything. He just takes the cigar from his mouth, sticks it in an overstuffed ashtray of leftover butts, and pulls a box from the shelf behind him. "This thing?" he asks as he sets it in front of me and opens the lid. I try to hide my excitement, but inside I'm rejoicing. Finally, I have found it, but I don't want this creepy man to know how much I want it. "Yes, that's it." "How much?" I asked calmly. "Well, how much you little girls got?" Sammy leans over and whispers in my ear. "This is bad news. I'm telling you." I shoot her a look and return to the man. "Well, I have $50. I don't think it's worth much more than that." I stand up tall and make my offer, and I am ready to have the man be happy with it and make the deal. It may not be worth much more than that to anyone else, but I think it's worth a whole lot more to you too. Two pretty young girls coming into my shop wearing designer dresses and purses that I can get top dollar for. I bet this thing is worth a whole lot more. I hadn't thought of our appearance or where we are in the city, but he's right. He can see right through us. $1,000, he says, and I nearly choke in shock. I'm instantly furious. $1,000? I don't have that kind of money. I can give you 200 and this purse and hers. I grab Sammy's purse and she grabs it back. "No way," she yelps. The man puts the locket back in the box and sticks it back on the shelf. $2,000 and it's yours, he says with a smirk on his face. No way, sir. That locket belongs in my family and I am going to have it back." I slam my hand on the counter and he stands up and looks at me cold. "Look, little girl. I told you the price. Pay or get the hell out of my shop." "Hey, Frank. There's a big box in the alley. You want me to bring it in?" What's going on here?" The most beautiful boy I have ever seen walks in from the back of the shop and is standing next to this horrible man at the counter. He is easily 6 feet tall and has a thick head of unruly curly black hair. He's wearing a pair of sunglasses and a ratty sweatshirt and jeans, but I can tell he is perfect underneath it. And through the thick haze of smoke, I can smell the most wonderful scent of evergreens and cocoa. My wolf grows restless within me at the sight of him. "These little darlings want to buy that locket you found last week." He smirks and lights up another cigar. The boy shrugs and pulls the box from the shelf. "This?" He opens it and I can barely get a squeak out. "Elise, Earth to Elise." Sammy knocks me in the shoulder and I snap out of it. Yes, that one." I can't stop staring at him. "So, how much, Frank?" the boy asks, and I finally find my words again. I offered him 200 and he told me 2,000. It's absurd. I can feel my anger come back and I'm thankful for it, remembering why I came here and how awful the man has been. "Don't be silly." The boy slaps him on the back. 200 is fine. "Frank, it's way more than anyone else would give you. It looks all rusted and the chain is broken. Whatever stone was in it is missing. It's a fair price." "Really?" I beam at him and he nods and smiles an absolutely devastatingly beautiful smile. "Leo, you always were a softie for the ladies. I'll need to keep you away from the counter next time." The terrible man playfully slaps the boy on the back of the head, and I hand over the money as he slides the package over the counter. But I can't seem to move. I just stand there like a puppy looking up at him. Oak away. Well, I have to go get the shit kicked out of me at school. Wish me luck, Frank. I watch as the boy leaves and heads out the back of the store, and I grab Sammy and we take off out the front. Come on, we have to find him. I pull her and run around the corner, seeing him flip his hoodie up and head down the street. Elise, we're going to be late for school. We have to get back. Sammy, I think I just found my mate. Leo, I spent the night at the pawn shop again. The group home that I'm assigned to has 17 kids in it and is only supposed to have 6. There's no room to even think there, let alone do homework or get a decent night's sleep. And anything you might have of any value will certainly be taken before morning if you're not careful. So I spend most nights at the shop. I met Frank, the owner of the shop, when I was 15. I was sleeping in the alley behind the shop before the state caught up with me and dumped me in the group home. Frank offered me a couch to sleep on if I would work unloading boxes and doing odd shit jobs around the shop. He's a dick to most people that come in, but he isn't a bad guy. Last night I waited for the nightly check-in, got my lunch voucher, and then easily snuck out unseen. They never bothered with a morning check-in. We all were supposed to be in school, so as long as we made it there at night, no one ever cared. I hear a commotion in the front of the store, and as I walk out, I'm shocked when I see 2 girls standing at the counter. I have never seen them before, and I know they aren't from around here. They are both beautiful, but the one girl I can't stop staring at. I'm thankful I put my glasses on, and she can't tell that I can't take my eyes off her. She is stunning, with bright green eyes and long brown hair down to her waist. Mate, I ignore the voice in my head and try and shake the odd feeling I have off. I make a deal with the girls quickly and leave. I dash out the back door, throw my hoodie up, and make my way to school. All the while I can't get the girl's face out of my mind and the voice in my head keeps getting louder.